We are wrestling.
Olympic hero Kurt Angle, and you're listening to the We Are Wrestling Podcast. We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Batista! Let's flip and go.
You're watching We Are Wrestling.
I'm the host with the most.
You are by far the least intelligent.
What is going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs. Ben here, one half of the We Are Wrestling podcast.
We Are Wrestling Podcast.
Make sure to subscribe, baby.
We are wrestling.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, Mr. We Are Wrestling himself, the best one, Donnie, here with...
What is going on? We are Wrestling Maniacs worldwide. It's Ben here, one half. Uncle Ben, America's favorite uncle, one half of the We Are Wrestling podcast. And it's a different one today because, as everybody knows, going up to Rumble season, doesn't matter any promotion, things get very quiet. And we are in that very quiet season right now. So it's going to be a very different episode that we usually do here. But before we get into all that mumbo jumbo, Donnie, like always, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, this week in the pro wrestling world, a lot happened over the weekend. Last, weekend, obviously, with, TNA coming back, awesome. Which we do want to thank all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs who joined us during the live watch along. First time, first of many. We're going to be doing the big, TNA premiere live events. Moving forward, it was a great stream. And, some stuff happened in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well, which is absolutely crazy. I feel like ever since we got Ricky, in the loop here with We Are Wrestling, there's been some talks with,
it's awesome.
New Japan, which is
it's
pretty
awesome.
Damn awesome.
But
before we get into all of this good stuff, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already and you're listening to the podcast, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. And I do apologize to the listeners that I did upload episode 91 Thursday, as we're recording today. I was very late. I forgot about the audio, so I do apologize for that.
Ew.
But moving forward, we're going to be good. But now, if you guys have not checked out the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, we recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course you already know, the grind is real. Yeah. And we do want to let all you guys know that next Saturday there will be no new episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast. Rumble week is very stressful here on the We Are Wrestling brand because we're doing lots of Royal Rumble content throughout the week, and we're going to be probably doing extras and predictions, and we have our biggest stream of the year, watching the Rumble live Saturday. And you guys, if you're looking for somebody to watch the show with, there's going to be a bunch of us, so highly recommend it.
Oh, God. It's going to be... Yeah, so I think I'm going to bring my laptop this weekend as well, just so at least, we can test, again, audio and everything beforehand. So hopefully it will definitely be a lot better audio-wise for you guys on the receiving end for Rumble, and it'll be completely crisp and clear, and we'll have time to really go through it before Saturday. So we'll take some dry runs.
Yeah, so in case you guys, don't know what we're talking about, during our TNA Hard to Kill live watch-along, for the very first time, we actually tried using multiple microphones. We want to always, up our production here with We Are Wrestling. And, myself, I had a mic, the Load Rager had a mic, and our good old buddy Ricky. And it was good for the most part, but it could be a little bit better with the audio. We do need to play around with it a little more. So we are hoping that next, Saturday for the live watch along, everything will be up to snuff.
Abso-fucking-lutely, man, because it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible at all, but everything can always be better. There's always room for improvement, and the Rumble will definitely have it locked down because the Rumble is we need the thoughts. We need to speak as it's happening. So, yeah, dude, I don't know. This Rumble feels like it's going to be insane. So I'm like really interested. This is going to be the first time on television that we're really going to see CM Punk in the Rumble and actually in the ring on live TV. So this is going to be huge. We're also likely we might even be able to see Jade Cargill finally in the Rumble, which we're 1,000% going to get that in the Women's Rumble. And I'm going to mark out, and I might need to like move out of camera distance, but you guys can hear the audio of how I feel about it because it's going to be too colorful for TV. It's going to be too colorful. I've been waiting since since Fastlane, since she showed up finally, like in the limo
for months.
For months. So imagine when it finally pops off. The pop in the We Are Wrestling dungeon is going to be real. The pop is going to be insane.
It's going to be massive. And
I hope she wins it. I don't care. Her or Bailey. Don't give a fuck.
I want to let the We Are Wrestling Maniacs know as well. The Royal Rumble predictions, we are going to be recording them and uploading them very early next week because we do want to give it, some time and
get more people to declare it.
Even, see the predictions before we do the live watch along.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that. And this week, there's not a lot for, the recap and the news and the rumors. So before we get into that, Ben, your highlight of the week.
My highlight of the week. Okay. So, I mean, realistically, I'm probably going to have to go with Hard to Kill because that was a really fucking good PLE. Like for TNA and, for what's been happening in the last few years and how much they've really suffered. That was a great step in the right direction. The audience count was great. The production was pretty good. I feel like the only thing that really needs tweaking is the quality in terms of like the camera work and production. Sound, spot on. The matches, you could tell that everybody was nervous, but they came to work. Like I said, again, the first PLE back as TNA, it's going to shake everybody's feathers, including the pros, which we saw. We've seen it. We saw a couple slight botches from some of the veterans that are there. It's all in the nerves, man. And for even so, it delivered. It really delivered. And, we got to see a lot of title changes. We got to see the new belts. We got to see, great matches. We got to see a lot of cool shit, man. And it was phenomenal. I got my eyes on a couple wrestlers now, like I got my eyes on a couple of talent out from TNA that I'm really interested in seeing either, eventually jump ship or, move up the ladder in TNA. Like I'm really, really hyped on that because I went solely open-minded with the fact that, hey, I might not be impressed, but it's another fucking night of wrestling and it's supposed to be history making. And it was. And I was humbly wrong but very pleasantly surprised. So a lot of surprises that night as well, which we're obviously going to be getting into later on here in the podcast. There's a lot to be excited about, and that was probably the best thing that happened this week.
I'm going to tell you this, Ben. I'm very excited for later on tonight after this recording because I will be watching Thursday Night Impact. I'm very excited for it.
Oh, shit, I can do that too.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if I'm going to do reactions or not. I haven't really decided yet. I might just watch it.
Follow-up is important.
Just see.
So if anything, watch it and then make like a little extra explaining how you felt on the follow-up episode to Hard to Kill.
Like a review?
Yeah, like a review. And if anything, depending on the day and time, if I'm able to make it, I'll hop in too. So.
Alrighty. Well, my highlight of the week, besides, Hard to Kill, because that was such a great show.
It was a good show, man.
I'm so happy to see all the positive feedback that, TNA has been receiving, throughout this entire, relaunch. And I'm just so happy that, they're finally starting to get the recognition that they deserve. And it just feels right.
Just to add to the TNA subject and like the nerves and everything, that we're still kind of talking about it. I just remembered something. The nerves also may have been through the roof because rumor has it, and I think we got a couple images, blurry images of Triple H being in attendance, I think with AJ Styles.
I did see that.
So you have the man who was the face of the company for fucking years. And when you think TNA, the first name you think of is AJ Styles. I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah, for me
and
too.
Then Triple H. And then Triple H, who is obviously the game, the creative behind WWE's masterpieces lately. And a legend in his own fucking right, a day one that never fucking jumped ship, came to support a resurgence of a legendary company, which is also technically a competition. But this is massive in the world of unity in the world of wrestling. So I just want to say
I
that.
do gotta add something to this. What you're saying here.
What up?
You're giving Triple H credit. You also have to give credit to Bailey and your favorite Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, they're watching Trinity. Well. Yeah, no, I know they were there watching Trinity, and I'll give them those flowers 100%. I think the disguises were like lukewarm, but I mean it was 100% though. It was interesting
cool,
it was interesting to catch Sasha or fucking Mercedes with blue hair again, which makes me think the Rumble season is going to be interesting. I'm starting to get ideas. It's exactly what you think I'm getting at. Like it's exactly I caught the blue hair underneath all that disguise, so I'm just like, this bitch gonna pull a fast one. She gonna show up on the Rumble. I swear to fucking God, if she shows up at the Rumble, I'm gonna mark out for the wrong reason. Anyways, but
well, you could take my approach like I did last year when I walked out when Nia Jax showed up. You could always do that.
See, here's the thing, though. You had a redemption arc there. I'm not gonna.
I've done a whole 180 since then.
Exactly. That's what I said. You had a redemption. I'm not gonna.
No, you're not gonna believe this. So this week,
what?
Which, by the way, to the Maniacs, you can check out my Raw reactions. They are up on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. During the segment with Becky Lynch and Rhea, which to me, that's got to be my highlight of the week. I actually really enjoyed the confrontation between the two.
Yeah.
I was putting over that, I'd rather see Nia Jax and Rhea.
Dude, 100%. Because Becky has done everything that Becky needs to do.
Becky's got to be at WrestleMania, so that's why, like, for me, I think that we're going to get a triple threat.
What I need to see happen, I think we might get a triple threat too. But what I need to see happen is Becky take some time off after Mania. I'm talking like almost a full year. Or jump ship after Mania, because Becky has done everything Becky can possibly fucking do in WWE, and it's starting to get goddamn boring seeing her. And mind you, a year ago, I was so hyped, but dude, now I'm just like
opposite of how you're feeling, only because for the past year, they kind of like ever since she lost the championship, they've been keeping her away from the title picture. Yes, her rivalry with Trish Stratus, that
she doesn't need
forever.
But the thing is, though, she doesn't need a title. Got enough.
But that's the reason why for me, I'm kind of okay with her being in it now because she's been away from it for so long.
My guy, I don't want her doing it because, and it's more of a good thing. It's more of a good place I'm coming from. I just don't want her to turn into another Charlotte.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest issue is like Bianca was starting to. So the fact that they've taken her away is incredible. And she's doing great, putting other people over and having mid-card matches. She is a John Cena workhorse. She never saw anything as a demotion, and she's killing it right now. Becky Lynch. I love Becky Lynch. Just like the next guy. Or gal. Or they or them. But regardless of the fact, I don't want one of my favorite superstars getting too... I don't want the John Cena treatment. 100%. Like, I want to have them still be exciting, to be a part of the mix in some capacity, but that's also ultimately up to them to make it compelling, So
that's the thing. I feel like a women's mid-card championship could definitely do wonders for girls like Becky.
Benefit, exactly. And it'd also be and it would help be a stepping stone to help other up-and-coming superstars get put over by these veterans. So it would be incredible. And it'd give them these veterans something fun to do, something different, but also keeping them relevant without tarnishing their name or their push. So it's kind of, a mid-card title now would be nice, especially since the roster is hella fucking stacked now.
Especially the women, but
yeah, dude, the women have fucking Goliaths.
I do take back my highlight of the week being Rhea and Becky. It was pretty cool. I just realized something. My highlight of the week has got to be R-Truth and the Judgment Day again. This whole what they did here with the money, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
With R-Truth being confused as hell.
R-Truth just, selling t-shirts on the side, and then Damian, confronting him, and then he gives him a piece of the pie. And then you have JD, trying to get his money during the match. But
yeah, didn't Damian and the Judgment Day have like a little like tension because of fucking he was like defending R-Truth?
Yeah, which I love what they're doing with them. And I was so mad when Damian...
That cash-in's coming soon because you could tell the tension sitting in. So
it is. I thought it was going to happen on Raw, low-key. But with that being said, let's dive into our pretty quick We Are Wrestling weekly recap for the We Are Wrestling podcast 92. So, our first, weekly recap topic for this week. This past weekend at TNA Hard to Kill, we saw the debut of AJ Francis, Dana Brooke, and the wanted man, Nick Nemeth. What's your thoughts on them so far?
AJ Francis, already presentation way better than it was in WWE. He's actually really great on the mic. He's really great at gaining natural heat, and it's not bad heat. It's not like a boo you suck heat. It's a boo like he's doing the heel shit heat, and it's honestly working. I think that this is a great place for him. I think it was too soon to go to WWE. I think that he needs a little bit more crafting and a little bit more callous before he can really think about going to a bigger promotion and really packaging himself as somebody who deserves a top star push. And with what I saw at Hard to Kill, I'm interested. At first, I didn't give a shit about Top Dollar. Now, I'm like, AJ Francis, all right, this is a new, fresh, interesting heel that I can really sink my teeth in. All right, like this is a good start. So him landing in TNA was probably the best thing for him. I'm glad that he went somewhere that still has notoriety. Yeah, it doesn't have a great TV deal, but there's hella stacked talent there. There's safe workers. There's great management. And I think that he's really going to thrive there.
I got to ask you, before you do give your thoughts on Ash and Nick Nemeth, yes. I got to ask you, your thoughts on Joe Hendry's little video that he made on AJ Francis.
I honestly think it was pretty fucking hilarious. I think it was funny. I think it was funny.
The top rope botch in that music video. That was great.
Yeah, man. And I love that that's been like a long-standing thing, but it's good to know that that botch saved his life. So, and he was able to get tested and see what was going on. And, he's been able to focus on his health. And again, in TNA, I hope that everything comes full circle. He's able to get crafted, not only physically, but in the ring, and that everything turns out great.
Absolutely. And, I'll give my thoughts on AJ Francis, and then I figure, we could talk about Ash, and then we'll talk about, we'll move down the line. So I've always saw potential in Top Dollar. I've always seen it. And it just felt like something was missing on WWE. And I think, during the first time that he got released, he didn't really take advantage of that opportunity. And that's why a lot of people just, walked over him. They didn't really, pay attention to what he was doing. But I think this time around, he really has, there's something about this run that's got, I feel like a lot of people, including myself, very invested. I love what he's doing with, the Instagram videos, making the music videos. And
kayfabe's alive.
The big thing I think that I really like about AJ Francis is he's making himself feel like a big star.
Bro, he's taking pages out of, heels like MJF, who keeps kayfabe alive, and, he brings it to social media. He brings it to the public. It's staying in character at the right times, and to be able to geniusly articulate those ways to do it without pushing it too far. And he's really, Matt Cardona and MJF, I feel like, are definite influences on how well he's doing right now, because those are two people that have really owned their shit just by being them. So.
And that's the thing about AJ Francis, just the presence, he's making him, he's feeling larger than life, which,
and you have to for resurgence. I have
that on my bingo card going into 2024, but I think that he's going to be a big, star in TNA. And I honestly really like, this program that we're getting right now with him and Joe Hendry, because
I agree.
A lot of people, are paying attention to Francis right now, and the people that know Joe Hendry, like myself, who, has, paid attention to his career, a lot of the stuff he did in the UK, now are finally going to start seeing Joe Hendry. And I think that this is just a great way to, establish more, characters. And I think Francis, this is a great move for TNA.
I think it is a great move. I think everybody, all parties involved are really going to thrive from this decision. And I think, it was a very great start, and I'm really, really excited for him. And again, whenever somebody loses a job, I'm never stoked about it, and if you can go somewhere, take what you can offer on the table, run with it, and have it be talked about, man, you're already winning. So
this is what he needed. So now let's get into Dana Brooke, who now is going by Ash by
Elegance. Ash by Elegance.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't understand, but I'll let it cook. I know that Ash is her real name, you know, but the by elegance, I'm assuming, and I know this is how she was played before, but dude, I'm getting way too much Charlotte Flair vibes, and it's like almost borderline cringe. I'm hoping that that's not the case. Like, I'm hoping that there's not going to be like a shit ton of similarities. I hope it's just maybe like a look of like being of wealth, of being of better than you know, like heel
I
shit.
feel like that's like what we're getting with that.
And I hope so. I just hope that there's no Charlotte Flair inspiration.
But it's gotta like,
because it's
but
gonna
it's
look
also
like a
got to
knockoff.
translate through TV, and we only got really an appearance. We haven't really got a promo.
We haven't heard her talk.
Yet.
I know, and I know that, but it's actions speak louder than words, and there was a lot of reminders there. So I'm just like, I hope that that's not where we're going. But yeah, but I hope that's not where we're going. And
because
I
there's
just,
a lot
if
of
it is,
people. There is a lot of people. I'm surprised that you are comparing her right now to Charlotte Flair, because there's a lot of people in the IWC that are actually comparing this character that she's doing to Timeless Toni Storm. Do you see that comparison or no?
I do.
Yeah, I kind of.
So it could be a mixture of both, and if it is, I don't know. But Timeless Toni Storm is one of the hottest things going in female wrestling right now. So
yes.
So I can understand and like I can understand being a little envious, but if you start playing the part too, then all right, this isn't how you do it. Like AJ Francis and Dana Brooke, as for what I can visually see right now, it's not looking too good. But again, wait until a promo.
Yeah,
I'll let it cook.
To Ash, I do gotta say, I've been a fan of Dana Brooke's work in WWE. I always felt like she
got it in the ring,
misused. Like, just never really got the opportunity to show
NXT Dana Brooke over anything.
Yeah, but here's why.
OG NXT.
But here's why I feel like it didn't work out for her. Because she, was a part of the same, recruitment class as the 4 Horsewomen. And I think that because, we got those big stars in, Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, and even, Sasha. Her talents, were just not really.
They were kind of swept under the rug, and it's unfortunate because she could go in the ring, bro. Like, I've seen Dana Brooke when she was Dana Brooke and not, paired up in a very silly, cheesy tag team with Mandy Rose. Before that,
I actually really did like that team.
But before that, though, she was a fucking
Mandy
animal.
Went off on her own, I was actually happy with that decision.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, Dana was a fucking animal prior, and I missed that. Dana was aggressive. Dana was in the same tone as Taya Valkyrie, which is a fucking killer.
That's probably the best comparison you can
So,
make.
like, she was literally just an aggressive man beater, basically. Like, this fucking chick could be in a death match tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised, because Dana Brooke was aggressive, and that's what I need back in the ring to really be behind it. And I just hope that that's what we get in the ring.
But here's what I need to get behind, her new character in TNA. Because one of my problems with her run in WWE was not her in-ring work, because she is fantastic. She can run those ropes. She knows how to put people over.
She knows how to get over too.
Is cutting a promo.
That's character work is everything.
Character work is the only thing that, my issue was with Dana Brooke in WWE. So I really do hope with this new character change and, this opportunity in a stacked knockouts division, she takes full advantage of it and she strives.
The best way I can put this,
because she's very
this
talented.
is the easiest way I can see it, and I hope other people can also agree and understand where I'm coming from. But I feel like character work died a long time ago when people in every company, it's not even just WWE, had been trying to sort out the next John Cena, which wasn't a character. That's as authentic and as human as it gets. And people have been trying to replicate that for years. And by doing so, character work has died, because there's no such thing as superheroes in wrestling anymore, unless you're a luchador, really. There's not many of those anymore. So it's, like we had the Undertakers, we had the Kanes, we had all of these people, like we had the Bray Wyatts, and it's like now we don't have a lot of those anymore, and that fucking sucks. The closest thing we're getting so far, and I'm hyped about it, is the Final Testament. So I'm really stoked.
Love that faction name.
I am
Incredible.
stoked. And Karrion Kross is getting the push he fucking deserves, man. Fuck anybody that
finally.
thinks different, man. Fuck you if you don't like it.
All right, so now let's talk about the wanted man, Nick Nemeth.
See, now this one I was not really expecting, especially since he already surfaced in New Japan. So I'm not, but he's signed to TNA. I'm confused.
I'm very confused, too.
but I'm okay with it, but I'm confused. But hopefully when he cuts his first promo, it's going to make more sense, but I'm not mad because the pop was insane. He looks great. And obviously we're going to be diving more into it here in a couple minutes as well. But as for, the show itself, I'm going to go based on the show. I'm not going to go into history things yet because obviously, we have a segment on the show coming up soon and we'll get there. But at the show, man, definitely one of, if not the highlight of the show, because nobody, I don't think, saw it coming. I don't think anybody saw it coming, and the impact he made, no pun intended, was incredible. Like, I was hyped. Like I was genuinely surprised to see him there. And honestly, it was nice seeing him again. Weirdly, I feel like this nice space in between has been good. I think we're going to be getting a new character. I think we're going to be getting a new
the wanted man, baby.
Exactly. So I think we're in for a very nice TNA time right now. I think we're in a very, very nice time in TNA, and we got some great matches to follow because he very much so is the modern day Shawn Michaels. So,
and the thing is,
it's
they
true.
kept this under the radar,
and I love that.
And that's the thing. I was listening to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, and Brian Myers said there was only not even a handful of people that knew he was showing up. They even kept it, on the low from the locker room, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Brian Myers, Scott D'Amore, and maybe like one or two other people that knew he was showing up.
Oh, so everybody in the ring that he ended up...
So that football player that was with them had no idea that Nick Nemeth was showing up, and then they basically had to tell him, you just need to be pissed off at what's going to happen and improv it.
Damn, man. Imagine one of your homies popping up and you can't even be genuinely happy to see them. You got to work it. You got to kick ass first. I gotta say,
they did a fantastic job keeping this on the low, and it felt like a genuine surprise. And it feels like a game changer because with TNA, there's a lot of fantastic, wrestlers on their roster, but we need to have, somebody to build this around. And I think, Nick Nemeth, he's the perfect guy.
Bro, all right, before we go, deeper into Nick Nemeth, man, I just have to give my flowers to the swaggiest homeboy wearing a suit and sneakers at that fucking pay-per-view, and I need to give Scott D'Amore his flowers because he is single-handedly saving TNA. And
really
honestly, and I couldn't be any more happy for them than I already am, rather, because they got a great leader, and I feel like that's what's been missing. And I think that TNA has definitely a bright future ahead of them, and I'm very excited for everybody involved, including Nick Nemeth. It's a very big W.
Absolutely, and especially with Nick Nemeth, doing stuff in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and also he's going to be having a match against Matt Cardona finally after like 10 years. They're going to be doing it at GCW. This is great for TNA because the more Nick Nemeth is doing stuff outside of the promotion, more people are going to want to see what he's doing, and they're going to tune into TNA. So I think it's a brilliant, brilliant signing.
Yeah, it's probably the best signing that they've signed in some time, honestly. This is a game changer because Nick Nemeth has a lot to offer the TNA locker room and the company itself. So I think it's going to be a big one. I'm really excited.
I'm very excited as well. And I do got to give, my flowers and my hat off to Scott D'Amore because what he's done during this rebuild for TNA has been incredible. And I think more people need to be talking about it, what he's done, because he's doing it the right way, which is great. And honestly, if they continue this momentum, they potentially could take that number 2 spot from AEW.
Dude, the promo in the beginning of the show, you could tell that they have a phenomenal CEO, and they have a phenomenal leader, not even locker room leader, but company leader, because you can tell that everybody that was there was very happy to be there and
who
wanted
wrote
to
that
be nowhere
intro?
else. Who?
So that entire intro to, the TNA Hard to Kill, it was all Eric Young.
Oh, I believe it.
He wrote
Dude's
that
killer.
entire intro, that like the video part, that was all Eric Young's idea, and it led to, him coming into the arena, cutting that promo. That was all Eric Young. Brian Meyer said that on his podcast.
Yeah, dude, it was a phenomenal show. Like, yeah, again, was it a perfect show? No. But was it a great show? Yes. 1,000% yes, man. And I'm, again, that one show, I have my eyes on a couple people now, and I'm really excited to follow their journey and to see where TNA goes.
You know what I'm excited about?
What up?
I'm excited that you found a number 2 promotion now. I don't have to bother you about AEW anymore, because now you could say, I don't need to watch AEW because I'm watching TNA.
See, TNA, again, may be a very small company, and it may be the third option, so to speak, but at least there's no legitimate drama, it feels like. It feels like everybody's pretty tight in the locker room.
That's one thing I can back up is
so I think
everybody that's a part of TNA, Ben, that's the one big thing that they all say is, the locker room is incredible. It's one of the best locker rooms they've been in. Matt Cardona, says it repeatedly every week on his podcast.
That's what I'm saying,
how much he
man.
loves that locker room.
It's great, dude, and you can feel it through the screen, and it's not tainted by ego. It's not tainted by fucking, corporate bullshit. It's not tainted, It's, if you love pro wrestling and you love storylines and you love people that have been in all the other aspects of every company you've ever loved, TNA is the place, man. It really is, and I felt that watching Hard to Kill. Again, is it something that I do on the regular yet? I don't know, but I can say that there's a very promising chance. There's a very big chance that I have more than just WWE shit to look forward to. I'm just not looking forward to the very hard decisions it's going to take when it comes to watching a pay-per-view. But, if there's a conflicting pay-per-view, I don't know which one I'm going to choose. Odds are I'm likely going to choose WWE because, again, it's taken up a majority of my life. But
yeah.
TNA, man. But TNA, man.
There's only so much time in the day.
I'm with it. But I'm with it, bro. But I'm with it, bro. I'm really with it. And I think that if anybody's really thinking about jumping back in on the TNA boat, I highly recommend you guys to watch Hard to Kill 2024. I really think you guys would enjoy it.
Couldn't said it any better myself. So,
it feels like a brand new fucking generation. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just hyped on the subject. I'm hyped on the sauce.
Man. And I'm surprised because this is one of our shortest topic weeks, but some really good conversations coming out of it, which I like.
Yeah.
So moving on now to our last weekly recap at New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle of the Valley. Can't believe we're actually talking about this. We saw Jungle Bitch appear for the first time since AEW All In after getting his ass beat by CM Punk. Jack Perry ripped an AEW contract on live television. What's your thoughts on this? And do you think that this is a work?
I see a lot of real life depression just by
the beard.
It's so untrimmed. Like, I get,
like, go to Bentley's barbershop.
He does. He needs to go see Nas, bro. I swear to God, bro. I swear to God. The dude, I don't know if it's a work. I think that this might just be like, oh, fuck it. I'm feeling really just, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a lot of shame there.
This is
like,
real glass.
This is a real contract. Rip, cry me a river.
Cry me a river. I can't believe it. I thought that he was I thought he disappeared from the earth forever.
But in terms of how I feel about the whole situation, like I said, I can see a lot of like real life depression there. I don't know. I don't think this is a work, just because at this point, I don't think Tony Khan even fucking cares at this point. Like, I really don't think he fucking cares. Because nobody cares really. Like, I was just kind of like, what the fuck is he doing there? More than like, oh my God, he showed up. It's like, no, what the fuck is he doing there? Like,
yeah, that was like my reaction too when Ricky told us while we were doing the live watch along.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's in fucking New Japan, you know? But yeah,
I didn't believe
he's
it
in
at
fucking
first.
New Japan.
I thought Ricky was fucking with us.
I just. Man,
I will say this though, New
I don't know
Japan.
what to say.
I will say this. I will give New Japan credit here because when he showed up, security had no idea. They thought it was a fan jumping in, and then they had to like let them know through like the earpieces. They're like, no, this is a part of the show. This is a part of the show. So when security was trying to grab him at first, like that was genuine. That was real. That was a shoot.
Oh shit! Oh, okay.
So I do got to give credit where it's due to New Japan on that perspective.
I'll give that too.
Real, because that's one thing that I'm noticing. The more we're hanging around, Ricky knows best.
Hey, add it to the substance.
New Japan, they're pretty good when it comes to the real stuff. I like.
Yeah, like when they get the security involved and they have no idea and it's like legitimate, it adds to the substance. So honestly, it didn't hurt anybody. It just added to it and made it look even more real. So I'm curious as to what the fuck is gonna happen now. Just yeah, that, and I think that's what this whole thing's about. I don't know if it really is a work or if it's legitimate, but either way, it was gonna work out because it's gonna get people curious. Even if we hate the motherfucker, it's gonna get people curious, and I'm curious.
I am as well, and honestly, I can already see what's gonna happen here. I will say this is
do you think
everybody
you have the
knows
script?
My strong hate to, Jungle Boy. Everybody already knows I call him Jungle Bitch for crying out loud. But I gotta say, this was fucking brilliant on New Japan's because they got people talking. And if you can get people talking, that's, gonna bring more eyes to your product. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Jungle Butch.
Jungle Butch.
Jungle Botch did this. So I gotta give I gotta give credit where it's due. But here's the thing. When it comes to, here's what I think is going to happen. And Ben, I do have the script. All right. So,
okay.
Right now, the Young Bucks, they're doing this new character change. They're, being more corporate. And now they're going by Matthew Jackson and Nicholas Jackson. And they're pretty much now going like on a full heel run, trying to like use a lot of the negative, feedback that they've gotten, the last couple of years with the whole CM Punk stuff, and they're trying to use it on television finally.
Yeah, see, I get that, but the thing is, though, that ship has sailed.
Really excited about this run.
But the thing is, though, that ship kind of fucking sailed already. It's like you should have just used it while it was fucking hot. You should have came back on that shit with it, but you didn't, and that's your fucking issue. Really big issue.
Here's where I got the script.
Because it's too fucking late at this point.
I think what's going to happen here, I think eventually Jungle Bitch Jack Perry, he's gonna align himself with them. I think we're really gonna get a faction out of this.
You really believe that?
Yep, I think that Jack Perry, Jungle Bitch, and the Young Bucks, they're gonna be together, and they're gonna do this whole anti-AEW thing.
You really think that?
Yep, because they're gonna want people. They want people to talk. That's why they had Jack Perry show up at New Japan. And now the Young Bucks, they're doing this whole thing. Like, they're acknowledging that they're EVPs now, like, with their characters. And they're saying, like, to Renee, like, oh, you're the reason why we're giving you the paychecks and stuff. So, like, they're going down, like, this real route. And, like, they're really trying to, like, portray themselves as legitimate assholes. So I think, I think they're gonna throw Jack Perry in there. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting.
Okay.
So that's the script, baby. I got the script. But now, oh boy, speaking of the script here, let's hear what Ricky has to say about, Jungle Boy showing up in his territory at New Japan Pro Wrestling Battle of the Valley. Ricky knows best.
Ricky knows best.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
It's me, Ricky Williams. Moxley's just as crazy as him.
No, Ricky! Bullshit!
They do it too sometimes. I'll be catching it.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Stop playing.
But that's my opinion.
You're so over.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you. What's up, We Are Wrestling? Shout out to Donnie, the best one, and Ben, a.k.a. Uncle Ben. What are my thoughts on Jungle Boy showing up at New Japan Pro Wrestling? What are my thoughts? I think it's honestly just a work, honestly. Because Jungle Boy's been in some heat lately. backstage drama with CM Punk, controversy, and then I think he's just trying to get back in the swing of things in the business by any means, even if it's showing up to New Japan Pro Wrestling, acting like he's it's all a work, tearing up a contract. I think he's still signed with AEW. It's just that he kind of made himself look like a fool and went in the business for himself. But then I hear he has a bad attitude. Sometimes that attitude is not going to work everywhere. So you're going to have to really be careful on that. But overall, it obviously looks like a work. I'm actually looking forward to seeing more of Jungle Boy, aka Jack Perry, in New Japan, AEW, wherever it is. But I don't really see Jungle Boy leaving AEW. Luckily, if anybody else wants to sign on now, like I said, he's still in some heat. But on top of all of that, I don't see him going anywhere else right now. But I like the angle he's taking, reinventing himself and putting some heat on himself in the process as a heel. Kind of got a little face beard and stuff going too. Makes it even more convincing as a heel, just like Jay White feels. That's for another day. But shout out to We Are Wrestling, though. Shout out to Donnie, shout out to Ben, shout out to all the We Are Wrestling supporters. Ricky knows best. Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
It's me, Ricky Williams. Moxley's just as crazy as him.
No, Ricky! Bullshit!
They do it too sometimes. I'll be catching it.
It's me, Ricky Williams.
Stop playing.
But that's my opinion.
He's so over.
Ricky knows best, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky knows best. Believe in me. God bless you.
We're back, and we only have one We Are Wrestling weekly news and rumors topic.
Oh, I've been waiting for this because I want to know what happened.
Let's get into it. So,
can't wait to see it.
Apparently, this week, Grayson, Waller, and LA Knight had to do some media work for the WWE, and I'm not even going to explain it because we are going to be doing a live reaction to this. And I've only seen clips. I don't know the whole thing as well. So Ben and I, we're going to be giving you guys our genuine reaction to this. All I know is, and I will let you guys know as well, that this isn't a work. This was
very uncomfortable.
A shoot.
Oh, so it gets tense? Oh,
this is real. So here we
Lord.
go, man. Are you ready?
Pull that bitch up. Let's go. I want to see the sauce. I want to hear the drama.
All right,
let's go.
Let's get it.
Give me that drama. Oh, no. Oh, fucking LA Knight's there. And usually he's the one I would expect to go off. But Grayson goes off?
And believe it or not, this was, in Australia because they are trying to, advertise Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So here we go. You ready?
Hold on. Moves. Here, rewind it.
All right, ready?
Now I am.
All right, here we go.
One of your signature finishing moves.
Can I give you one?
Yeah, can you, like, not me,
I'll just be over
but
here.
can you show us one of your moves?
No, I think it
like
actually just showed on the screen there. If I do that, it's not going to be a good day
maybe
for
someone
anybody.
like our floor manager, maybe he seems
Well,
available.
actually, our floor manager's leaving this week.
Yeah.
And he's sort of, I don't know if...
That's not for me. You want to go ahead and take this one?
Look,
Uh-oh.
I don't think you understand. Like, if I come over there right now, we're going to have the police here because I'm not going to give you some fake punch. Like, I'm going to punch you straight in the jaw. The disrespect that you have even talking to me. No, you want to talk to me like this ain't real? Don't act all tough, lad. Don't act all tough.
I get in the middle of this. You kick back. You kick back. Get him out of there. You get out of there. You get out. I'm so sorry. I've done that too, mate.
You guys come here trying to disrespect us. Are you kidding me?
I'm not disrespecting you.
You're all right, mate. No, we love you.
Hey, you take that trash talk and you get out of here. Hey, you get out of here. You take that trash talk. You get out. I won't have these guests disrespected like that, Mitch. You get out. Now, can you wrap this up?
You hold your pants tight. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in. So
Yeah, that was legitimate. Ben, what's your thoughts on that right there that we just watched? Ben is completely shocked, guys. He is
wow. I have to give it up to Grayson Waller, one. But one, I can't believe that just fucking happened. Two, I got a lot of Jerry Lawler vibes again. I got a lot of Jerry Lawler vibes, if you know what I mean. I love that LA Knight was just kind of sitting there just watching it all happen, just like watching fucking Grayson go off, and he was just trying to keep the fucking, like, he gotta try to stay kosher because he ain't trying to ruin his push right now.
Yeah, LA Knight's like, I'm in the WWE title picture, you handle this.
Yeah, and he's like, we're literally a week away from fucking literally the Rumble. We don't need this. We don't need this. But I will give it to Grayson Waller, because if I was in his position, a part of the biggest pro wrestling sports entertainment company on the fucking planet, where people have died in the ring, have gotten hurt in the ring, have had their lives cut short because of their time in the ring.
CTE.
It's fucking annoying and frustrating to have to deal with people who constantly believe that the whole thing is fake as fuck. And to get kind of mocked right in front of you on live TV when you're home trying to promote a massive PLE that is going to take place in your hometown for the first time in like 10 years. And this is what's going on. Yeah, I'd be fucking pissed too, because as you know, Grayson Waller being this is his home. He's home. Him and Rhea Ripley Australia and everybody too. There, yeah, it's their fucking home, and he's fucking annoyed right now, dude, because it's like you're basically ripping this fucking moment from him. You know, this dude worked to be here, and he's happy to be home, and now he's pissed that he's home because he's dealing with some arrogant fucking prick on live TV. So it's disrespecting. It's insulting to them, because they think it's just a big fucking joke, and that it's, you know, pre-planned and everything. And you could tell Grayson had no idea what the fuck was going on. Like, what's gonna happen right now? Like, you just expect
LA Knight had no idea either what was going on too.
Yeah, 100%. Like, even LA Knight tried
the lady host of the show too. She had no clue.
I will 100% give it to LA Knight and the two talk hosts, you know, and even Grayson Waller for their composure. 100%. Even before, you know, Grayson finally popped off, I think,
with his composure, because he could have definitely done something that he regretted, but he just, you know, pretty much told him, like, you don't want me to legitimately, you know. So, like, the way that he was able to hold himself back, that's a true professional right there. I don't think he deserves any backlash whatsoever. He's protecting the business, and that's the thing. Like, it's insulting. I can't stand clout chasers like that, trying to, you know, try to get under their skin when they're, you know, giving exposure to this, you know, news station, and they're giving exposure to, you know, their country for having a big, you know, PLE that's going to have over 70,000 people watching. It's not, and it's not a big,
it's not a small thing.
It's not one of the big four. It's not. It's the elimination chamber.
But you have to remember the people that are going to be there, that are going to be performing there. It's going to be a stacked night, man. And you want to have them come back again. And for that to happen, man, if it's already that tense before the damn pay-per-view, it doesn't make them look good. And WWE is likely not going to want to come back. You know, it's just, I can only imagine how frustrated Grayson feels, especially being the Aussie representative to send there to help promote it. You know, the dude isn't huge yet. Is he getting more screen time? Yes. Is he finally getting built into being a star slowly, kind of like The Miz was? Yes. And I love it, because eventually The Miz is going to be gone and we're going to have Grayson Waller. So I am really happy that he's very confident.
Finish what you're saying.
Oh shit, he's going to grab something. What he getting? Oh, he got a Grayson Waller fig.
Speaking of Grayson Waller, I do have something I do want to show. I got his figure.
Yeah, buddy.
His very first figure ever made. I figured.
Hell
I'd
yeah,
show
man. Hell yeah, dude. But no, I could only imagine how frustrated he feels, 100%, especially since, again, this is his dream, and it feels like people are taking it as a big fucking joke and they're shitting on it in front of him on live TV. I don't blame him for how he reacted, and I don't think Triple H or anybody would, because it's disrespectful as fuck. It's not a fucking joke. It's not a circus. It's not a sideshow. People get fucking hurt for this shit for your entertainment. So.
Yep, and that's the thing, like, they're putting their bodies on the line for our entertainment, and, I do gotta say as well, like, gotta give credit to LA Knight and, Grayson Waller for, holding their composure, holding back, and, pretty much, protecting the business, protecting, what they love, what puts a roof over their head, what's, feeding them. I'm really happy that, they didn't let these people, walk all over them. And, especially Grayson Waller, he stood up. And I think, it definitely makes him and the WWE look good in this situation. And honestly, I gotta say, it's also pretty funny because over on Twitter, after all this happened, Grayson Waller put one of those GIFs up of David Shorts, the guy that smacked the reporter back in like the 80s.
Yeah, I know.
So honestly, that was pretty funny to see that. But it's unfortunate that, this incident did happen. I think that, definitely doesn't make the news station, look good whatsoever.
We'll have to see how this
goes
on.
The only one that actually, was being professional during that whole, interview was the lady there.
I think if anybody was the most professional in this entire fucking manner, though, that really deserves their flowers is LA Knight.
Oh,
LA Knight was the most professional out of everybody.
From like the talk show side of it. Even Grayson Waller, acknowledged her and even said like, no, you're not the issue and stuff.
It's that fucking guy.
That does take, a lot to, that's how like he was able to hold his composure throughout that entire situation, despite being, very upset about what happened.
He's sitting right there, literally getting like, what's the fucking word for it? And I always forget it. He's getting provoked. And like right there, like he's literally, and this is a random ass dude behind the camera that went into legitimate business for himself to hopefully hype the situation up by being an asshole in front of the camera without giving anybody a choice. Yeah, without giving anybody a choice.
If you're leaving in a week.
Like that's embarrassing. Exactly.
But guys, up next, we have the Getting Put Over segment and our main event topic, which this week, we asked you guys to, submit some questions for us to answer since, the wrestling world right now, there's not a lot to talk about with the Rumble right around the corner. We'll be right back with more We Are Wrestling Podcast, episode 92.
Hey everybody, it's Hall of Famer Devon Dudley here. And when I'm not putting people through tables or testifying, I am listening to one of the greatest podcasts in the world. We Are Wrestling Podcast. Check it out. Testify.
Collecting has always had a special place in my heart, going all the way back to when I was a kid. I remember my parents taking me to Toys R Us and waking up on Christmas morning to a bunch of new action figures. I had bins filled with thousands of rare WWE, WCW, ECW, and TNA figures through the years until, unfortunately, I ended up selling my whole childhood without knowing the true value of my collection. 2 years after I made that horrible decision, the pandemic hit, and I realized there was a part of me that felt missing, and that was collecting. My whole life, I have loved collecting wrestling figures, wrestling memorabilia, classic video games, Nickelodeon stuff, sneakers, Funko Pops, and even Angry Birds. As time went by, I decided I wanted to get back into collecting, except this time, document it and rebuild my collection over on Best One Donnie. So, if you want to go back into time and relive my nostalgic memories, subscribe now. We're back, and every week, we do this thing called the Getting Put Over segment, where every week, Ben and I, we alternate and we pick one past, present, or future superstar, and we put them over. Last week, we put over Cafe de Rene. That was my choice. This week, Ben, who are we putting over?
Well, originally we had somebody lined up to talk about, but I figured since that individual will be eventually on this podcast this year, I figured I'm going to be putting them over quite a bit. So instead of doing that, you know, to the audience, we're going to do it for the audience with him here. So for this segment of getting put over, I figured since, you know, with TNA Hard to Kill being so successful and then having that surprise ending, I thought it would be time to give Nick Nemeth his flowers. So that's what we're putting over this week on We Are Wrestling's Getting Put Over segment.
Dolph Ziggler.
Hell yeah, zigzag boy.
And he's had like such a long run in, you know, the WWE.
Very illustrious as well.
Almost 20 years, which is wow.
He started off in the Spirit Squad, bro.
No.
No?
He started off as Curlin White's caddy. Let's not forget that.
I'm sorry, but no, we're gonna start with the Spirit Squad where it actually he was actually.
Oh, come on! You don't like Curlin White?
I don't like Curlin White. We're not putting that over.
Caddy?
We're putting over Nikki.
We're not gonna put over Nick Nemeth.
No,
caddy.
No, we're putting over Nikki from the Spirit Squad.
Dude, the Spirit Squad. I love the Spirit Squad.
I did love the Spirit Squad.
We got to put over the entire squad at some point.
At some point, yes. Kenny and it's crazy to think that originally WWE's first choice to put over was Kenny Dykstra, but then Dolph Ziggler came and stole the show.
Literally.
They tried to push Kenny so hard, but he was just not connecting with the audience, and his promo skills were like non-existent. So, but no, Nick Nemeth, man, like I said, he is so underrated. He is arguably today's Shawn Michaels, and I feel like in the bittersweet scoop of things, he really got the rough end of the stick in booking, you know, in the last at least 6 to 8 years. He's gotten really rough booking. Like he hasn't been in anything spectacular.
I feel like the last time Dolph Ziggler really had a big push, it
was his IC title run, right?
Yeah, with The Miz back in 2016.
Yeah, so it's like it wasn't, you know, and it wasn't really all huge, and it's like I feel like the Dirty Dogs got really hard to put over, and you had two great superstars that
Especially
just didn't really mesh well.
Injuries as well.
Yeah, you know, and Bobby Roode, that's another sad story, man. I wanted to see him as a world champion at some point, but it never panned out, and it's unfortunate because he was built for it.
The entrance and everything. I wanted to see the glorious entrance at WrestleMania.
Dude, him and AJ Styles during the Rumble was what, like, everybody was chanting TNA during that shit. And even Bobby Roode was like, they've been waiting years for this shit. I was just like, let's go. But yeah, you know, like
more into Dolph Ziggler, I do want to talk about the accomplishments that he's had in his, you know, career.
Yeah,
you have it listed all right here. So, man, Dolph Ziggler, you know, during his time in WWE, he had a lot of accolades. He was a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion, a 1-time NXT Champion. That was towards the end of his run. WWE Intercontinental Champion 6 times. Also, he was, you know, a 2-time Raw Tag Team Champion, a 1-time SmackDown Tag Team Champion with Bobby Roode. He was, you know, a 2-time United States Championship winner. Also, you know, he won the World Tag Team Championships with, you know, the Spirit Squad as well. And he did win the Money in the Bank in 2012. And he's a 2-time Slammy Award winner as well.
Yeah, man. He's had, like I said, he's had a very illustrious career. He's been paired up with a lot, you know, an array of different superstars. He's been a part of tag teams, stables. He's been a part of, you know, the world title picture. He was a world heavyweight champion, which is insane to think about. You know, it's almost bittersweet seeing him somewhere else, because you would think that, you know, he was going to be one of the ones that was going to be a lifer, you know, that they would have always seen something in him, because where I wasn't the biggest Dolph Ziggler fan, I appreciated everything that he put on the line, especially that really crushing promo that he had with The Miz, because that was as real as it got, man. That shit almost had me crying. You could even see Miz trying to hold back tears too, because that was just like an insanely just emotional promo.
You know, during that feud, I really liked as well that they did bring back the Spirit Squad in like a way with Kenny and Mikey.
Yeah.
Because of like the whole, you know, history there. I think it added so much more to that underdog storyline.
It did.
For Dolph to, you know, win the big one. And then doing the whole, like, if Dolph loses, you know, he's going to quit. I think just added so much more to that. And honestly, I think that was like his best feud in WWE.
And it's unfortunate because I feel like Dolph could have been built for so much more.
Oh, absolutely. But I will say this. His transition from, Nikki to Dolph Ziggler, I remember like his vignettes just like it was yesterday on Raw. Like they started him off backstage and he would just go up to people and go, "Hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler." And he would basically shake their hand, and he started off doing that. And then eventually we got him and Vicky Guerrero together. And then, he went on to, winning, the United States Championship, winning, the Intercontinental. And then eventually, he got that big, break in 2012 when he won the Money in the Bank. And then had that big cash in the night after Mania, which, man, that as a fan, what a time. Because nobody thought Dolph Ziggler was ever going to win the World Heavyweight title. And it happened.
Yeah.
Such a great moment. And one of the moments I wish that we got was at WrestleMania 29 with Dolph and Zack Ryder. They were teasing that match on Z True Long Island Story for months, and we never got that. But I will say their match at I think it was TLC, where it was for the United States Championship, and Zack Ryder finally got the big win. That was one of my favorite matches of Dolph's. Definitely.
Mine too.
And another thing I do got to put over as well is I think it was 2014. It was Survivor Series. When Dolph Ziggler, had that incredible, run as, the sole survivor against the Authority. That's when, Sting made his WWE debut. I really like that position for Dolph as well.
Nice. That time. Yeah, Dolph is, again, in a perfect world, we would have gotten so much more. Had things worked out, had the cards been right, had leadership, been what it is now, if we had better creative, better booking decisions for him, we could have shot him to the stars.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even for me, like I also enjoyed him and John Cena as well when Ziggler was with AJ and she screwed Cena and helped Ziggler. I actually really did like that feud a lot.
That's
too.
When he aligned himself with fucking Big E at the time,
Big
right?
Big E made his debut on the main roster. And he was with Dolph Ziggler during that time.
That period. That was like 2013, 2014, around there?
Yeah, that was like 2013, around that time.
Yeah, I remember when they were coming down into the ring and fucking Big E accidentally smacked that shit out of fucking AJ Lee on live TV.
Yeah. But with Dolph Ziggler, what were some of your favorite matches during his time?
Oh, God.
Because I will say this. With Dolph Ziggler, in my opinion, there was nobody better than him when it comes to selling. Like, his selling was incredible.
Bro, he is the king of sells. If there's anybody that can sell ice to an Eskimo in the pro wrestling world, it is fucking Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth. That dude is just so talented. He could work with literally anybody. And he was the first spear Edge ever delivered coming back, and Kevin Dunn fucked it up. He fucked it up so bad. And I'm so glad.
Let that go.
No, I am going to let it go. I'm just saying I'm pissed about it in the moment. But since then, WWE has edited the fucking replay on Peacock where you actually see it. So I'm hyped about that. They switched the angles for the replay.
Come on now, Ben. We're putting over Dolph Ziggler, not Kevin Dunn. Now.
No, but I am putting over Dolph Ziggler because that sell for that spear back was incredible. It was a thing of beauty. It was like the Mona Lisa of what you would want to see Edge's first spear to look like. Yes, it was incredible, and that's why I said it takes two to tango. Where Edge is the king of spears, Dolph is the king of selling. So that's a 50-50, and Dolph did his fucking part. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, Dolph Ziggler was a lot to credit for that first spear back. When it comes to his matches, he's had a couple really good tag team matches, and I don't know if it was the New Day or the Hardys. I forgot who they were facing, but it was him and Drew McIntyre back in like 2018 during this. Yes, there was a really good match, and it was between one of those two teams, but it was phenomenal. And he shined in that match, and it's a shame that I don't remember a lot because that's when I got back into wrestling after so long. because I haven't had cable for fucking, years, and there wasn't really anything super huge and exciting going on that I could check out the highlights for or really had any interest in. So when I fell back in 2018, when Drew, got called up to the main roster, won the tag team titles with fucking Dolph Ziggler, I was paying attention at that point because where I was at the time, I had cable. So, and that was one of the first matches I saw. And I was just like, damn, Ziggler's fucking killing it right now. And I remember being impressed with how much he still had it after all that time that I hadn't seen him, and how good he still looked, and how good he still moved in the ring, and how good his promo skills are, and how good he still works as a heel. His cash-in will by far be the most defining moment of his entire career, because
I agree.
He was built like a world champion at that point too. Like, he had hit the gym sufficiently around that time. Ziggler was in the best shape of his fucking life when he won that title, dude.
And just his selling just added so much more to it. Like, you felt that moment. Like, you felt like, that's the thing about me when I saw that cash in happen the night after, Mania.
Yeah.
When he did that, like, I felt like I was like in his body during that moment, because that's how like well he sold it to, all of us, because at the time he was a heel.
Yeah.
But it was just that surreal moment. Like, we never thought this was going to happen. He's been busting his ass for years, and he's finally getting what he deserves.
So I'm going to end my portion of putting him over with saying that I can't nail down a favorite match, because where he was tainted with creative control in WWE and like creative, storylines and everything, I'm going to put the hope out there and say that maybe my favorite match of his has yet to happen. And I think that it could happen in TNA. And I'm really excited for the future of Ziggler and Nick Nemeth, rather. So I'm really happy that we decided to put him over this week.
I am as well. And like, he's always somebody that I've been a huge fan of, throughout his entire career, even going back to, being the caddy that we should be putting over as well as the Spirit Squad. I've been a huge fan of his, and I'm glad that he's had a successful, run that he had. Now I'm very excited to see what he does in New Japan. I'm excited to see what he does in TNA and even GCW and like all these top independent wrestling promotions.
He gets afloat, man.
And I can't wait to see, where things go, because I think
can't wait to see him spread his wings.
That he's about to have is going to be a legendary run.
I think it's going to be his best run, and that's why I said I can't really nail down anything favorite, because I think it's yet to happen. So once it happens, I'll know.
The Wanted Man. I love it. Absolutely love it. But guys, this week we put over Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, the Wanted Man. And honestly, I'm really happy we were able to put him over. He was somebody definitely on my list that I wanted to pick.
Underrated as fuck.
But I'm glad that you picked him. And next week, I get to choose who we're going to be putting over.
We got any hints?
I'm going to be... Oh, wait, not next week.
Oh, well,
Because
2 weeks.
Next week,
so...
Yep, next week, we'll not be having a new episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast.
It's Rumble season, baby.
After. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't know who we're putting over.
We'll drop subtle hints.
Can change.
I'm not going to tell anybody we nailed somebody down, but there will be hints.
Like, what if at the Royal Rumble, there's a surprise entrant that I just haven't been thinking about, and then I want to make that decision to put them over?
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, keep that
So,
keep that mentality.
I have to wait, honestly. I have to
keep that
wait.
mentality, my dude. Keep that mentality.
I have to wait, because honestly, like, if Simon Dean shows up at the Royal Rumble, like,
I would actually put him over. Yeah, that's gonna be that'd be nuts.
So with that being said, let's dive into the main event topic for the We Are Wrestling podcast, episode 92. So this week's main event topic is nothing in particular, because there is no big wrestling news besides the stuff that we covered, during the recap and, the weekly news.
Until the Rumble, baby.
So we decided that we want to listen to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs. We want you guys to submit some questions that we can answer, and we got 12 of them, and I think that these are some really good ones. So here we go. And our first, question that is going to be asked is from _Cowboy. And he asked, when y'all start watching wrestling?
1997. I was 2 years old, and I was very self-aware for a weird fucking reason. And I remember being absolutely captivated by what the fuck was going on screen. And it's weird because a 2-year-old should not be watching wrestling at that time because we were very deep in the Attitude Era. So obviously, you know, we had a lot of greats like, you know, the Nation of Domination. We had fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, you know, Undertaker at some of his best moments. You know, it just, yeah. Mankind, you know, there was a lot of people that aren't around anymore that were still there, still killing it. So I just, yeah, I was very self-aware at that moment. And I remember how much Mankind absolutely scared the shit out of me at that time. So,
so for me, I started watching wrestling. I want to say it was like late 1999, 2000, because I was born in 97. And I got into it from my cousin who, he had wrestling figures, and my first ever wrestling figure, which surprisingly I still have in my collection to this day, I stole it from him. It was a Rock figure. And that's kind of how I got into it. And like I would watch it with him, and then eventually we would go to like the WWE live events, and then, you know, just really fell in love with it. I would go to Blockbuster, Hollywood Home Videos. My mom and I, we loved going there, and I would rent out like the old like 90s with like the new generation era of, you know, WWE. And like I really got my fandom like into, you know, wrestling. It was during like the late Attitude Era. And I just, you know, fell in love with it. And look at us now. We have a whole damn podcast where we talk about it, baby. But moving on now to our next question here from @JA Universal, one of our, you know, loyal maniacs that shows up to all the live watch-alongs. We appreciate your support. He asked, do you plan on doing more watch-alongs to TNA Premier Live events?
yes.
Absolutely, because, man, last weekend for, you know, TNA Hard to Kill, it was a great turnout. We had a great stream, and I had very low expectations because normally when you try something new, a lot of people don't really get into it. But, you know, a lot of you guys really enjoyed it, and we're not going to do every single TNA Premier Live event, but we are going to do the big ones. Slammiversary, Bound for Glory. So pretty much the big ones we will do. And if you guys continue to, you know, support the TNA stuff, maybe we'll even, you know, do extras, and maybe I'll even do reactions. But it all depends on your guys' feedback. Our next question we have here is from @Angelo Rodriguez, one of our channel members on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. He asked, why does Seth need to fight at every Premier Live event? I mean, he should take a break too, like Roman. And you shouldn't go at Seth because he fought at every Premier Live event last year. Did not take a single break, and he should not get hate for missing one big Premier Live event. So this comment was, I believe, on one of my Seth Rollins reactions, because I've been criticizing that there's no build for the Rumble. So how do you feel about that with Seth?
I get it. You know, Seth has been basically carrying the company on his back for so long. So, I mean, there's definitely some fatigue there, and he definitely doesn't need a title. I mean, if there was anybody best to have the title first, it was Seth, to put some prestige on it. But at the same time, it's starting to get a little stale. I get we're trying to, you know, get a better reigning defending world champion, give it to prestige, you know, defend it way more than Roman has, and we're trying to get away from that. But at the same time, it's Seth Rollins. He's getting injured like a motherfucker. Dude needs to take time off. It's time to put somebody else over.
And that's the thing. I'm sorry, but I'm going to hold Seth Rollins to the same standard that I hold Roman Reigns to. They're both our world champions. They need to be defending their championships at these Premier Live events, especially the big ones. I heavily criticized Roman Reigns for not defending that championship at Survivor Series. And if Seth Rollins is not defending this championship at the Rumble, I will do the same exact thing. And it's not Seth Rollins' fault. It's, you know, Triple H, it's WWE Creative's fault. But I do think that, you know, if you're a world champion, I don't care if you're injured, I don't care if you're not, you need to be defending the championship. You are the face of your brand. Rollins is holding that World Heavyweight Championship. That means he's the face of the Monday Night Raw brand. And if he's, you know, injured, and I think he does need to take time off, his championship run is getting a little repetitive. I think that, you know, he just needs to drop the title at some point, and I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Our next question we have here is from Big Mac 3166. And he asked, is Seth Rollins injured on Raw? So apparently, he had a match
saw the
with
leg injury
Mahal,
and he had to limp
and then
out.
They did say something about like a leg injury.
Yeah, apparently once he got backstage, he was able to put pressure on it, but there was a noticeable limp. But he was able to finish the match, so there's high end on it. But I think that, I think he's dropping it soon. And honestly, it's time. So.
Yeah, I think Rollins, I think it's like a little minor injury, so I don't think he's going to be on the sidelines. They're probably not going to have him wrestle probably at live events, really. And they're probably going to try to protect him until WrestleMania, which, does make sense because he is, a household name. He does, put asses in seats, so he's probably not going to be on TV as much as, he was gonna with these, little injuries, but hopefully, he does recover pretty quickly. Our next question we have here is from @JA Universal. He got another question. He said this. Here's what WWE could do to get Cody to SmackDown to challenge Roman. Have Cody and Sheamus trade brands since the Brawling Brutes are no more. Have Sheamus go to Raw and challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And Cody could go to SmackDown and challenge Roman for the WWE Championship.
We already covered this in the live stream.
Oh, he did ask that in the live stream. I don't know why you would ask that again. Yeah, no, we don't. Sheamus, Cody Rhodes, they don't got the same trade value. Not happening. Moving on now to our next question here. We have Redman 853. And he asked this. SmackDown will always be the A show. Do you believe that? Yes or no?
See, I don't believe in A shows. I believe in what's doing better at the time because, again, superstars change all the time, especially with drafts. Brand split. The brand split's back finally. We got 2 separate brands, so when the draft happens, we always get a shakeup. So it depends on what storylines are compelling there, what rivalries you got, what champions end up going on whatever brand respectively. It opens the door for new shit, history to be unhashed again. So it's hard to really pinpoint what an A show is. So I don't really believe in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I do believe in it, and no, SmackDown is not the A show. Raw right now currently is the A show. I'm a Raw guy. And when it's all said and done, I'm just going to say this. Let's talk about the champions real quick. On Monday Night Raw, we have the defending world champion, Seth Rollins. Despite me not liking his run, he is a defending champion. And we have an Intercontinental champion right now who's the longest reigning, Gunther. And everything that he's doing is absolutely perfect. And he's a dominant, champion who's defending his title consistently. Let's go over to the SmackDown brand. We have Roman Reigns. He's a part-timer. He barely shows up to work. Doesn't fight, defend his championship. And we have Logan Paul, who I think is a fantastic, professional wrestler.
But he's not around enough.
He's been champion for 70 days now, and he has not defended the championship once. Yep. So yeah, I think SmackDown is not the A show. Raw is. Moving on now to our next question here @Mike Riggs 471. He asked, with the 2024 WWE Royal Rumble coming up within 2 weeks away, live stream live on WWE via Peacock, and I would like to know if Raquel Rodriguez will be the 30th superstar, and then Cody Rhodes will be the 30th superstar, and hopefully they will win their respective Royal Rumble matches.
Fantasy booking is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, I think
that's all I can really say.
Well, you got your shout out, pal, on the podcast, because I don't think that was a question, but I really hope that Cody Rhodes is not number 30.
No,
again,
he's not going to be.
Last year he was, so
I see him around like number 12. I see him being like between like 12 and like 14.
I kind of want Cody to be in there very early this time, and I kind of hope CM Punk. He's not the last one. I hope that they kind of put him in the middle.
I hope they put him at like number 7. like have him fucking kill it.
Yeah, like here's the thing. I don't want to see him after 20. I want him to be like in that range.
Yeah, no, because he's gonna be the star attraction.
But Raquel Rodriguez, I could see her, you know, showing up at the Rumble, but I don't know if she's going to be number 30.
Yeah.
But alrighty, moving on now to our next, you know, question here. Well, not a question really, but from our buddy Angelo Rodriguez, one of our channel members here on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. He said, I think the final 4 in the Rumble will be Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Gunter.
I could see that
happening.
I could. Because those are 4 big names, and they all have some pretty decent storylines going into Mania season. So I would say, yeah, that is definitely... He might have the script on that one.
Angelo's got the script?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think he might have got the script on that one, because I think I could see that being a Final 4 scenario.
That's a really good
That's
scenario.
That's a very good scenario. That's a very good one, because I could root for all of them.
Yeah, so honestly, like, I might have to agree with Angelo on this one with the Final 4. I think that that's a really good one. And it also proves to, let me go back up here real quick, at Redman853, that Raw is the A show because there's 4 Raw superstars in the Final 4 of the Rumble.
Sweet.
Exactly proving my point. But moving on now to our next, you know, question here from our buddy at John Paulus. He shows up a lot during the live watch-alongs and the wrestling show vlogs. He said this. Big question. Do you think Triple H will finally let DIY run the tag division? Because after their match on Raw, they look great for real.
Sure. I gave up on DIY, so.
You don't care?
I don't, because Gargano's not connecting on main roster, man. He's not. Ciampa has the best chance to be like a top heel, and he's wasting it in a tag team that it was a has-been, unfortunately, and Gargano is just not hitting on the main roster, and it's just how I feel, man.
Yeah, I feel like what they're doing realistically, and I've said this, you know, multiple times, because they're both not really connecting with the main roster audience, I think Triple H is trying to do exactly what he did in NXT with, you know, the main roster, so he wants these two to be a dominant tag team, run, you know, the division, and then at some point, once, you know, they're established and they're on TV consistently, probably do the same thing that they did at TakeOver years ago, where, you know, Ciampa or Johnny turn on one or the other, and then, you know, they become solid, you know, single stars. Because don't fix something that's not broken. But I definitely think that, you know, he's going to let them run the tag division. I think it's only a matter of time before Judgment Day they lose the tag titles. And I think DIY, they're going to have them win the belts, probably at Mania, I could see.
Okay.
Alrighty, well, moving on now. We only have 2 more questions here from Jessica
Castro?
Yep, Jessica Castro. She asked, what's your favorite music?
Jessica, I think you already know the question because he came from my channel. But
she's probably asking me then, probably.
Yeah, I would have to say, obviously, you know, Metalhead Till I'm Dead, man. Obviously.
So, like, throughout my life, I liked hip-hop rap the most, but now that I'm getting older, I'm becoming an old man, I gotta go with rock. I love classic rock. Nothing
He's the world's
sounds
greatest
better.
Nickelback fan.
That's right. All that freaking divorced dad music, man.
Hell yeah, man.
And right now I've been listening to a lot of like old school rock. Like right now, like I've been listening to a lot of Oasis. Just nice, relaxing, you know, classic rock.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're turning into an old man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting old, man.
He's in the Oasis stage. He's in the Oasis stage.
And our last question is from our good buddy Dan I'm bad at pronouncing names. I keep getting criticized in the comments for that too.
It's all good, man.
Dan Gudek. I think that's how you say his name. We see him at Blitzkrieg all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Dan the Man.
Dan the Man.
Right. Well, Dan the Man, he asked, what was your first live event you attended?
WWE Raw Mohegan Sun when Matt Hardy returned. August 1st, 2005.
Damn. Look at that.
Yep.
I wish I could tell you the exact date.
I was hyped, my guy. I was hyped.
That's a pretty cool
Actually,
first
no.
show.
That's the first one I remember. My first live event was actually the DX pay-per-view in Springfield, Mass.
Oh, the In Your House 97.
Yeah. DX pay-per-view, yep.
I'm so mad that like
Yeah.
I was a newborn at that time because everybody I know has been there. Smart Mark Sterling, one of my old, co-hosts, he was
Me.
there. You were there. Like everybody I know went to that
Yeah.
show, and I'm so mad that I
That was
missed
my
out.
first one.
I was a newborn. I was just a baby. But with my first show, I don't remember it exactly like the date, but I do remember it being, I want to say it was like November of 2003. It was a WWE live event in Springfield, Mass. And I remember it being a cage match as the main event. It was Shane O'Mac versus Kane. And they were, doing these matches at the live events to, build up their Survivor Series ambulance match.
Yeah. Yeah,
That was
I do
the first
remember
one
that.
I attended.
Oh, fucking yeah, man. Like I said, the 05 one was the only one, the first one I remember, but I know for a fact I was at the DX in your house pay-per-view in 97.
Yeah, in 05, I remember the SmackDown show at the end of the year there in Springfield. I got hit with the pyro by the Boogeyman. That was a good time.
Yeah, I got my shit signed by Rey Mysterio at the Eastville Mall. That no longer exists.
Awesome.
So, yep.
Yeah. But is there anything else, Ben, before we close off this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling
Happy
podcast?
Rumble season, baby. Happy Rumble season. We'll see you guys there. The largest watch-along party that we have yet to ever have. So be sure to tune in January 27th at 7:30. We'll be going live for half the pre-show going into the Royal Rumble. Let's get it, y'all.
It's going to be the biggest stream of the year. But guys, let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the topics that we covered this week here. And I hope, whoever, submitted their, questions, I hope you guys are happy with our answers. Raw is still the A show.
It really is the A show. I have to agree. If there's an A show, it is Raw.
But I do want to let all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs know that next Saturday, there will be no new episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast because, of course, with Rumble Week right around the corner next week, we're going to be really focusing on Royal Rumble related content. We're going to be probably doing some extras. We're going to have the Royal Rumble predictions. I know there's some vlogs ready to go up on the channel. So there will be no new episode of the podcast next week. But guys, if you enjoyed this week's episode of the We Are Wrestling Podcast 92, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're listening, give us a 5-star review, not just any review, a best one review, and download the episode. And it will be out on time this time. I will make sure of it. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already over on the YouTube channel, we're posting lots of content over there, especially for Rumble Week. You can join the live watch-alongs. You can listen to the predictions. You get a lot of additional content, reactions from me. Subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow Ben and I over on our social medias and other YouTube pages. All that down below. Over on my channel, I am doing toy videos. And Ben, I think, is right now on a hiatus, but still subscribe to him. Support him. Support
yeah.
Uncle Ben. But to all the, We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.